Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds. I think. Hey, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for an Arsenal versus Leeds review. I'm joined by some good friends of mine today. Hopefully, they can shed a bit of positivity onto my negative feelings right now. I'm all right, to be fair, lads. But yeah, how are you doing, Priest? Anyway, let's go around the house. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Bank holiday weekend. Have to get up in the morning. All good.
Mr. Positive all time, regardless.
Yeah, I've completely forgotten about last night, so I'm fine.
Yeah, what are you even doing here? He's already forgotten about me. I'm still rooting. I know, mate. I know. It's all good. Adam, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I think Leeds did their best to ruin the bank holiday weekend, and they've succeeded in general. But yeah, it's a bit of therapy, isn't it?
What was it like in the Arsenal end?
Fucking don't. We're just the butt of the joke, really. That's the problem.
Did you pretend you were Arsenal, or did they know you were Leeds?
I stood up when they scored.
Did you? You stood up when they scored?
Rebel.
5 times it was, if anyone was counting.
It was, mate. Boss Nass, how you doing, my mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, Matty. I'm steady Sunday for me.
Steady Sunday, yeah. It's been trying to get on with jobs and you know, the kids have done well to lift my mood. I've been busy today, been out and about doing bits, but yeah, I ain't too bad. You know what it is for me? I said it in group chat earlier, didn't I? Basically, you know, I expected to lose down to the goal for quality, but I didn't expect to lose in that manner. And for me, I think Farke's decision making before game, during the game, definitely hampered us in that game. Although I expected to lose down to the golfing quality, like I say, and I just didn't expect a 5-0 hammering. I won't lie. And I do think the lineups are probably what I expected, but I did think Longstaff should have started, lads, and I do think Metcha should have started, and that's not just on what I saw. You know, you say halfway through the game it should have been this, should have been that, but genuinely before kickoff, that's what I would have done. But I kind of knew where he'd go with it, giving Pino and Gruev, you know, minutes. And you said to me earlier, didn't you, Priestley? To touch on what you said, it looks like he's giving a lot of that championship winning side a run to see where they're at. Give him, you know, maybe give him those minutes as, you know, thanks for getting us up. Let's see what you can do. That's sort of your take on it, isn't it, lad?
Yeah, it's like just saying, here's your chance to earn a place in the Premier League. If you're not up to it, you're out.
Yeah, well, would they be out for you now, pal?
A couple of them would be.
Who?
Hero and Strauch.
Strauch? You keep Gruev in?
Well, no, because I know he'll be out when Ampadu comes back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Adam, do you agree with what I've said there, pal, or have you got a different take on it?
Yeah.
Mate.
The thing of deserving a chance for a shot is just obviously the thing. Like, yeah, against Everton or Fulham, but you go to Arsenal. Arsenal are one of the best 8 teams in the world, so we're going to go there. We're going to lose. You know, that was almost a certainty, pretty much. I think we lose that no matter what team he puts out, 90 times out of 100, maybe more, maybe 95, with the squad we have as a just promoted side. But as soon as the sort of team come out, I had 3-1. And as soon as the sort of team come out, I was like, oh, maybe 4 or 5-1. It just made no sense to me. Some Arsenal fans, I was on train with some mates going in, and they said, will you try and play out from the back? I went, well, we always do, but I hope not. They went, yeah, because we'll just swallow you up. We'll just smash you. Will you high press? We usually do, but I hope not. Yeah, because that would be so stupid. We'll just smash you. Who's going to hold the ball up for you? Well, hopefully the Metcha starts. Oh, Pro starting. No, look, we haven't really got anyone. Oh, we'll just smash you. The opposition fans knew it. Our fans knew it. The only person who didn't know it is Daniel Farke. And if Priest is right to give Pirro a chance, then that's just bloody mental, isn't it? Like that's just. I mean, I know it's not what quite we're saying, Priest. You're saying about it's then got a reason to drop them. He's giving them the chance, that chance to make it. But at the same time, the team was shocking, and it played out exactly how everyone expected, other than Daniel Farke, I guess.
Yeah, with that lineup. But I think it was quite evident when it Bostas. As much as I thought Pirro played well against Everton, he just never looked like this would be the game for Pirro for me. You know, that you want that physical presence you can go along to at times. Playing out from the back was suicide, like Adam said there, and you needed that focal point up front, I think, to go along at times. And we really struggled with that until Mecha came on, Paul.
Yeah, I always want to pick up on that point just previously, then I'll move on to that. The idea that we move into a new season and we're carrying forward credit from the Championship into our thinking for our squad selection in the Premier League is just not elite sport mentality. It's just not something that any team in elite sport should be doing. It's a new season. Treat it like a new season. You've got new talent. So you've got to, for me, thinking that way is just not what an elite sports team should be doing. But in terms of the Pirro selection, would it be harsh to say it was just plain stupid? Because that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yep.
Looking at the game, like we've spoken about, there was always going to be in a 4-3-3, and there was always going to press really high. Yeah. So we needed an out ball, and the out ball was probably the most important thing for us in that game.
I agree.
And it had to be somebody who could hold it up. And it had to be somebody who could hold it up by plucking it out of the air or taking it to feet. Pirro's never been known for plucking a ball out of the air of his chest or his head. I'm not saying he can't do it. He's just not known for it. So the selection of the team, like Adam says, as soon as he saw it, it was a bit baffling, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, for me, the most obvious selection for me, and people will go mad in the comments, I thought Harrison would have been nailed on for that game because I just felt like it's this kind of game that you'd rarely be able to utilise. Just a sense of like how well he is at tracking back and kind of just harassing the other team. I think that's one of the better things that he does. So yeah, the selection was off for me, Matty, and definitely Mecha should have started that game.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Obviously, go on, mate.
Can I just say, so you're absolutely right, but that tells you the way Farke thought he could play the game. He thought he could play out from the back. He thought he could build through the side. He thought he could use Pirro the way he wants to use Pirro. He was arrogant in thinking we could use Pirro as he's normally used, drop in, knock the ball around, build play up through him. He obviously didn't for a second think we would have to go long at any point. Because if he thought that, you don't pick Pirro. So if he's not thinking that, he's thinking, oh, we must be building our normal way. I quite like the idea of actually using, like I said on Friday night, late night Leeds, using James as an outlet and playing the channels more. I know he's not going to plug by the air, but Calafiori just goes wherever he likes to. And there was a gap there. The option was actually, I mean, there was an option actually play like a false nine, like play something like Arrington to drop in that isn't really nice, and play James wide right and leave that as the outlet. And I'm not saying that would have worked either, by the way, but we had no outlet whatsoever. So the only thing that's left to me is thinking that Farke thought we play against one of the best pressing sides in the world, that the new they just chew us up. That's the only thing left.
I agree. I think it was naivety on Daniel Farke's part. Genuinely, I just feel like he just thought we'd play our game and that would be enough to beat Arsenal or get something at Arsenal, which seems ridiculous. And I know a few people, I think Priestley, one of them, said we did all right for 30-odd minutes. I thought we were under the cosh from minute one. I ain't going to lie. I know we had that Strauch header that Raya tipped over bar, and, we'll talk about it. Could have been a different game. I don't think it would have been. I think it would have been 5-1 if we'd have scored that, if I'm honest. I think they're still going to do the same. But yeah, I just thought from minute one in the stand, obviously being there, it felt just watching it, the eye test at the stadium, that they were just all over us from minute one. And Perry probably was my biggest disappointment yesterday. I've seen a lot of people calling, does Darlow come back in now? And it feels a little bit wild at minutes to be talking like that. But I'll be honest with you, he looked very nervous with the ball at feet. He looks great coming out and clearing it, catching and that, but his distribution's poor. he doesn't look like he's going to save a shot. If I'm honest, he looks out of position quite a lot. It's just a bit of a mad one. All of a sudden, I'm having nightmares about the goalkeeper again. I don't know if any of you three feel that, or do you think it's too soon to be talking about Perry?
Do you want me to go on this one, boys?
Go on, boss.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to alarm people, but what I've seen out of the last 2 games from Lucas Perry, and I'm not talking necessarily that he's conceded 5 goals from 6 shots on target. We can get into that later. I'm talking that the guy looks like he's got the touch of an elephant. In the sense, in a way, like without being disrespectful, there's keepers in League One that have got a better first touch than this guy. And there's been a couple of times where he's not padded the ball whatsoever. He's just put a boot out. He's not anticipating the weight of the football, and it's rolled on a little bit too far, and he's nearly got caught out on it. And that just sets your first phase of the game totally out of whack. You can't start a good clinical first phase of football without the goalkeeper starting it off. That's why people pay so much money now for good goalkeepers. Yeah. So that puts us on the back foot straight away, because already Arsenal are already on our fullbacks or whoever we're going to pass the ball to. And you've lost that split second where you can play in central midfield or you can chip one over the top to a winger. You've lost that time. So it's a real big worry for me at the minute. But I've got to be balanced and say it's only 2 games. And you've got to believe that the people in the recruitment department at Leeds United have looked at this guy enough and long enough and in detail enough to pay the money that they did for him. And with that, you've got to maybe think that maybe he's just bedding in. But yeah, alarm bells for me. 2 games into the season. And yeah, I haven't liked what I've seen, but at the same time, I've got to believe there's better in him than that.
At best, though, it's muddled recruitment, isn't it? Because he's not good with his feet. It's clear to see he's not good with his feet any game he's played, even in Milan or against Milan or whatever. So if you speak to Farke and say, are you still going to build up? Is the goalkeeper always your spare? Goalkeeper's always your spare man in build up. So if you can build up from the back, the goalkeeper's got good with his feet. He has to be. So, and Perry's not very good with his feet. Everyone would have known that. So should we get this guy? And they went, and Farke, if he goes, yes, I'm building up, they shouldn't have. And if he goes, no, we're not always building from the back, it's fine. Perry's not very good with long balls either, by the way. He's just not with his feet. I'm not worried about him at the moment at all. But we can't play out from the back the way we want to, especially against higher pressing teams, against these sorts of teams, elite pressing teams with Perry in goal. We just can't do it. So again, it's a bit muddled that we tried to do it.
Yeah, Priestley got to add on Perry.
Well, it's better than Melier.
Is he? I'm joking.
Well, was Melier any good with his feet?
No, not after Arsenal his first game, mate. No.
No. Could Melier stop shots? Also no. Could he catch a cross? Also no. The thing is, people spent so long wanting Melier out. Now they've got him out, they don't know what to do.
But on recruitment, by the way, this is always going to happen. There's always going to be mistakes in players early, and everyone gets worried about them. Like, it could have been Bijou if he's in the team. Could have been anyone. Could be absolutely anyone. Anyone we were starting, like, if they a couple of mistakes in them, would everyone be worried because it's all we've seen. So you've got to give him time. You know, like, it's fine. He's not very good with his feet. You cannot utilize him like that. So stop trying to utilize him like that. He's a very good goalkeeper. So, and he's definitely a very good goalkeeper. So just give him time. The
mad thing is, if that's going to be the tactics this season, playing out from the back, which you'd have to say so far it looks like that's the way. Hopefully it's not. Then we've identified a keeper who looks really shaky with that, and it's all right thinking, you know, maybe he can adapt and get that in his game. Is he really going to do that as a 20-odd-year-old goalkeeper? I'm not too sure. I mean, what is it? Late 20s. He is who he is at this moment in time. I don't know if that's something.
You've got to remember as well that although the goalkeeper has changed, the goalkeeping coach hasn't.
Yeah, but
so maybe there's something in that.
The tactics haven't. That's the
point.
The tactics haven't. Farke's message hasn't changed. You know, you've got a new keeper in there and you're still playing that sort of football, which we're fine. Perry may have looked 10 times the player Melier did in the Championship, and we're still there now, you know. Probably got 2 clean sheets and 2 good.
You say you can't play out from the back, but then you're also saying he can't go long to Pirro. So what's he meant to do?
He can't do all. He's Farke, isn't it? Farke's decision making's hampering the team in certain moments, and obviously yesterday that was evident. You know, Perry's stuck. Yeah, he goes long. you know, he isn't going to complete that ball, he isn't going to complete that pass, and his stats are going to look shoddy because he's going to Pirro. He plays short again. He's looking, you know, putting the fans on edge, which we all were in the stands. So that's down to Farke's selection, and then within the game, I mean, moving on from Perry at half time, the changes were evident that needed to be made, and again, we saw the same patterns from Farke we see in the champion. And this is going to be a fairly negative stream because we got battered 5-0, and I just want to caveat that and just say, you know, I'm one of those fans who is. I'm a passion merchant. I love the club. I go week in, week out. We all want Farke to succeed. We don't want to feel shitty. But there's no comments as of yet that I've seen that are saying this. But we lost 5-0 yesterday. I can't come on here and be all happy and, you know, singing like normally I'm all jolly matty. But like we lost 5-0 and I was there and it was embarrassing. And you were there, Adam, and it was embarrassing. It was a game of football where after 20 minutes, it was still 0-0. I was already losing interest because we just didn't look at it. And I know that's down to the level of the players, lads, and the opposition. But we're going to play, and I know not every team's Arsenal, but there's 4 or 5 teams that could do this to us if we don't change and adapt. There's more than just Arsenal who could do this to us, lads. And what I'll say, Boss Nass, is we won't be the only side going to the Emirates and getting spanked 5-0. There'll be a lot of sides, and some sides may be better than us, Boss Nass. It's happened already.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say it's happened to Man City, and far better teams have gone there and suffered the exact same fate. When we was talking about playing out from the back, as a newly promoted side, we've got to remember this experiment's been done. We've seen this just as recent as last season with Southampton and Ipswich on many occasions, backing themselves to play out from the back against the top teams in the division. And it simply just doesn't work. It simply, you've got to see it as not an option. Now, I know that means changing your football and changing your DNA. Well, how about we make our DNA more varied in the sense that we can look at a game pragmatically and try and look and target weak points in the other team. And you look at Arsenal and you think, well, there isn't really any weak points. And that's probably fair as well, but they will have, every team has their worst player. And I would say for Arsenal, it was probably Calafiori, can have some weaknesses. But yeah, just on that point, I want to say that the idea that we can play out from the back against an Arsenal, a City, a Liverpool, it's already been done. We've seen it don't work. So I genuinely would like to see Farke do something else. And I think if he did have the bravery to try something else and it failed, Leeds fans are quite accommodating, really, in that kind of sense. And we would say, well, look, he tried something else. Maybe this time that didn't work, but he's trying.
Boss Nass.
Yeah, I get that.
Just a quick editorial to that point. The same people that lauded Bielsa for refusing to change his philosophy are now criticising Farke for not changing his philosophy.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but Priestley,
he could change. That's fair enough. He could change. But if he doesn't, the same people are going to complain even when they revered Bielsa for, you've got plan A, what's plan B? Do plan A better.
But can I just say, neither Bielsa's stubbornness or Farke's stubbornness will work out. They'll both end in failure.
Yeah, 100%.
And that by the way, and also with Bielsa, there was a lot of massive highs. And took us to 9th in the Premier League. He's a once in a lifetime coach. What he did. And obviously, I 100% agree with Priestley. It cost him his job. And saying people might laud he's having plan A or plan A, having a go at Farke about it. But I think the highs of what Bielsa did and who Bielsa was far outweigh anything else. And it's funny because I'm almost like a priest. I agree. I don't care that almost that Bielsa didn't have a plan B. I think it's a massive shame he didn't because he won't still be here, but he would have been here longer. But yeah, Farke's it's not. It can't be down to ignorance or naivety. He's made him and his whole coaching staff sat down. Right, they've made a conscious decision to go with what they've gone with. And he probably sits at home stews over it. And to not make a change at half time shows the arrogance of it actually as well. And that's like, okay, I've trained this all week. I can't go to the players and start making changes now. You know, that sort of he can't undermine himself. So he had to throw them back out there and do the same thing, even though he knew it'd only get worse. That's big problems, isn't it? Like, it's a lot, you know, like internal dialogue. There's a lot of issues there that he's not willing to resolve because of his ego.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way, I don't think it's even a maybe about that.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's happened.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Wiley Grove get a full game, and this
fair,
is I agree.
He's already adapted from last season because he's changed the formation and gone with he's gone with different tactics. We could still be setting up a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
I don't think that'd work either.
Yeah, no, you're right. But of course, what I'm saying is he's had the whole pre-season to put that in. That's fine. He's done something, and I 100% agree. What he's done is better, and it'll work better for us. But then and we're only talking about minor tweaks. But if you say he's trained it all week, so for even 2-0 down the Emirates, we'll stick with it because that's what I have trained. This is what I've got into the lads. Plan A, and we'll stick with it. And that's what's cost us even more goals in the second half.
I mean, look at that. 8 out of 10 outfield players were playing the Championship last season.
Yeah.
As he brought Beal, Longstaff, Metcher for the bench. I mean, Beal, I sort of get why he didn't play. You may find he comes in now because he's got a good excuse now to maybe drop Stroud with conceding 5. Not that it, for me, would all down to Stroud, but I would expect Beal to play now. Longstaff were the one. I think I kind of saw him as a starter when we signed him, but obviously we're having the midfielder brought in as well after him. It's maybe not. Metcher probably is a bench option going forward with Calvert-Lewin and others, but right now
I've heard a rumour tonight that Tanaka's out for Newcastle.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard is it an MCL? Same injury as what Ampadu is what I heard.
Yeah,
which could be 2
so
or 3
maybe
games.
maybe Longstaff gets his chance now.
Probably does. I would have liked him to have got his chance yesterday. I think we spoke, didn't we? I genuinely thought putting Stack at the DM would have worked yesterday and having Longstaff a little bit further forward for the legs. Like I say, you said right, Adam, don't matter what probably concoction of players we'd have played. If Ampadu would have been fit in this and that, would have probably still lost the game.
Yeah.
I just felt there were still, certain tools he could have used to get a better result, and well, not a better result, but a better scoreline, and it not feel as dark as it does right now. Albeit, like I say, there'll be a lot of people go there, a lot of teams go there and struggle to that level. But it's the worry now of going into another game and having it again. You want to turn that tide, and luckily for us, we've got Sheff Wednesday in Cup. That could easily be a decent margin win for Leeds United. All of a sudden, some fringe players are getting minutes. You've got players getting confidence, and then you go into Newcastle at home, which all of a sudden feels a massive game again.
I don't think the Wednesday game will have any influence on Newcastle. I don't think the Arsenal game will have much influence on it, to be honest. I think Arsenal so head and shoulders. Arsenal, City, maybe Liverpool, definitely are so far head and shoulders, especially as home teams above every other team in the league. To go there and lose, even if we had full strength, Farke did everything I wanted him to do, we'd probably still lose 3-0. I think if we went with a 2-goal, if they had a 2-goal handicap, they would have beat us. I think I said that before the match as well. So I'm not really that fussed about it, but what I am. And obviously, people talk about. I've heard people say about players not trying or playing hard. I don't have any of that at all. I don't care about that or player performance. I think players' performance is really hard if you're chasing shadows. If a centre back gets pulled wide like Stroud did, that's really hard. And that's not Stroud's game at all. He's not. But just on Stroud, by the way, I think Bijol definitely comes in for him. Stroud's good. He's our best centre back on the ball. He's really good in the air, and he's quite good in those one-on-one dual moments. But if you're sitting back as a bank, there's thousands of micro decisions you make during a game about where to go left, right, track a man, come out, engage, hundreds, thousands, whatever it is. And Stroud, I don't think makes enough of those decisions correctly to play ahead of Bijol for me. In games like that, especially against Arsenal.
I get that. Do you think he comes in boss last, Beal?
I hope so, because I hope that's the reason why we bought him in the summer, to up the level of this squad, because the level of this squad needed elevating, the quality needed elevating. The Premier League it's a rock hard league, but to just sprinkle a little bit of positivity on it. We did beat Everton at home, and it's easy to forget that. But think back to that evening and just remember what those boys played like. Because again, it is very easy to lose that in what is a very disappointing result yesterday. So we did that against Everton, who then went and beat Brighton 2-0 today. So I think it is a case of as fans, we're all just kind of trying to calibrate and try and just figure out amongst ourselves, where is this team? Do you know? Where actually are we? And I think once we actually get to the point of understanding where we sit quality-wise, and we have a clearer idea of what this season might look like, we might be a little bit more relaxed. It's the fact that we're 2 games into a season. We've come off the back of a brilliant win against Everton, got slapped up by Arsenal, and it's kind of taken the wind out of our sails. It's kind of winded us a bit, like a gut punch. But there is still many positives to hold on to. So I just wanted to say that. Another thing that I just want to get out of the way before we move on from Arsenal, if we are moving on, is I really didn't like that Farke said in the post-match press conference that he was happy. What's going on? Yeah, I didn't like that Farke said in the post-match press conference that he was happy. Like, you can't be happy with that. No. And I hope that, even though he said that to the Sky cameras, I hope he went into the dressing room and said, look, we've just played our worst game of the season. That is not our standard.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15 meter passes, not played with enough weight or just off direction. That can't be happening in the Premier League. Get away with it in the Championship. Do it in the Premier League at your own peril. So I do hope that he said he was happy to the Sky cameras, but I hope he relayed a different message in the dressing room.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a bit of a mad one for me because I look back to the Everton game and buzzing to come out of stadium, one with Priestley, massive high winning that game. But like I said at Late Night Leeds on Friday that there was still some, I don't want to bog it down again, boss, but there was still negative. Obviously, there's positives, negatives, any result. There were still some negatives for me in the Everton game. We're on a knife edge. We won with a penalty. If that had gone the other way to end the game, boss Nass, where Harrison and Aronson on pitch and we'd have lost 1-0, already the knives would have been out for Farke. The people already on his back. Then you have the Ramazani situation. Then you have a heavy loss last night. There's quite a lot of negatives around Farke for me, even though 3 points out of 6 available is a good return right now, and it's probably what we'd have hoped for at best. But there's a lot of negatives sort of I reckon, like, surrounding him at the minute, and I can't get that out of my head. And a lot of patterns I've seen these 2 games again. Players getting picked who maybe shouldn't be picked, players getting dropped who maybe shouldn't be getting dropped. And I don't know what you guys think of that. I'm massive on the Ramazani thing, but not just Ramazani, but the decision to play Harrison over certain players last week, the decision to play Gruev over Longstaff, and like you said there, post-match press conference there, chatting to Sky camera saying they were quite happy about it, didn't seem bothered that they'd just been slapped up 5-0, you know what I mean, when you've got 3,000 fans paying to go and stuff like that. A few little bits, even though it's still a positive, 3 points in opening 2 games is brilliant, lads. But there is negatives, and there's a pattern there that I can relate heavily to what we were doing last year. Last year, we had the best side in Championship. The negatives didn't outweigh the positives. This year, they maybe will.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred like an Antonio Conte style reaction to that. Just looking totally pissed off and refusing to do the press conference and just walking straight past him, because that to me signifies a winner, someone who's, just like he's built to win. And if he don't win, it genuinely really gets him angry. I don't see that with Farke, but look, people win in different ways. I think if we're being honest with ourselves within this fan base, there was a lot of people coming out of last season that still don't rate him, think that we got promoted based off the strength of our squad and not the tactics and the ability of our manager. And I think that discussion has to be had, and I think it's still a fair discussion. I think you can be a Leeds fan and still be questioning Farke. I think he's still got a lot to prove, but I still think he's earned the right to prove it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of where I'm.
I agree, mate. I think he should be here. I think he should get more time than some people are saying too. But I say there is some negatives. It doesn't take long, does it, for the slide to happen, for people to start questioning. I've seen people today. I've seen people saying, there were people at coach last night on way home saying Saki, which I thought were mental, absolutely mental. But it doesn't take long for that positive at Everton to all of a sudden switch it round. And obviously, just talking to people at the stadium and on coach yesterday, a lot of these points I'm making are what the fans were saying, travelling back for 3.5, 4 hours yesterday. So I thought I'd bring a few of these up because the points I'm making today got mentioned loads on coach your way over.
Anybody wanting to sack Farke is mad.
Yeah, I think it's mad at this stage. But these patterns, Priestley, that are alarm bells. And it won't take many more weeks if it goes that way. You know, we at home at Newcastle. Do you think we get a point? Do you think we win game?
I think we get a point. Yeah.
If we don't and we get slapped up 4-0,
It's 3 games in.
yeah, but what point is 7 games in 10? At what point is enough? Do you know what I mean? Like you'll say that after 6 games.
Yeah. Let's sack Farke based on the results of 2.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Teams.
I don't want to sack Farke, mate. As much
You know-
as I
do you know
do
what's,
get a camera.
What a fucking stupid reaction.
Do you know what's interesting?
What happens if we get beat by Newcastle? Oh, there's 35 games left.
We lose. We lose game of
There's 4 or 5 teams that will beat us like that this season. Good. There's still 14 teams left after those 5.
Why do you want to drop Strouk then? Surely Strouk deserves the whole season as well. Why are we dropping any players? Just carry on as we are. Like Farke wants, let's put Pro up front all season and go, what on earth would you drop you? You got to give everyone every single game throughout the whole season. Like you can't.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get Mez in there. Get Mez up front.
Take Bamford out at 23s. Fuck it.
Yeah, too right.
It's an interesting. Obviously, I don't really mean all that, but it's an interesting point. Everyone's so willing to drop players as you get promoted, but the manager deserves every chance he gets, even though you see the same failings. And because his job is his job, the player's job is their job. You see the same failings from him. That's why people get wound up. I am not Farke out right now because they've got to heal him. So you've got to keep going with it, obviously. But there's alarm bells ringing in terms of you seeing some personality traits for me that cause issues for him as a manager. Now I know people call me crazy or talking absolute shit for saying that. That's what I'm seeing, and so that's where the issues start. And by the way, as Boss says,
have you got like resting on a Pringles tin? You haven't, you?
Yeah. I've got it balancing on a chair and I keep kicking the fucking chair.
Well, just thought.
As Bosness said, I don't know what Bosness says now. I don't think much of this carries over. We'll go against Newcastle. It could be fine. I don't play Wednesday. I don't think that much of that carries over. Farke's used to having the best team and setting up in a certain way, and he'll set up the same way against Newcastle, try and play the same football, and it will work much better because they're a worse side. So that's where we go from.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I agree, mate. I just want Priest to stop dropping his phone. That'd help.
I think that actually, as long as we know that 38 points will see you safe this year. So as long as Farke maintains that point a game average, I'm all right with it. I'm a Leeds United fan, not a Daniel Farke fan. I'll put that out there. He's the manager of the team and he got on promoted and I think it would be bizarre to say, or it certainly would be very cutthroat to not let a manager who won you promotion have a go at the Premier League. But I also don't think, I think the 49ers are smart enough not to let this club get cut adrift in the league table. And I think as soon as we start to see that the team's getting cut adrift, that's when the situation could be addressed. So I think as long as he maintains that point a game average, I think he probably is relatively safe. Can't have too many more embarrassing results. But it's expected that coming up to the Premier League, we're going to lose a lot of games 2-1. We're going to lose a few games 1-0. As long as we're in them and we've got chances to take points away, then I think that's totally respectable. But keep that point a game average, because I do think if Leeds look like they're going to start getting cut adrift, I think that's when we could see something happen.
I think, say we lost, and obviously hope we don't lose by 3 goals at home to Newcastle. It's all going to get very intense, very, very, very quickly. But that'll be the same for any manager we had. So you got to have a style. I watch Bielsa make lots of things. I want to Gelhard in the team at times. I've looked at football matches and made lots of wrong decisions that I look back and in hindsight, going, what was I thinking there? So a lot of passion elements, and I say I think him and his coaching staff sit down and go, that's the best side. It'd be really interesting to actually hear why he thinks that's the best side. Maybe Nemanja isn't the player I think he is. And he goes, because he can't say that. Nemecha's actually not that good, and DCL wasn't fit, so I started Pro. If he can't say that, but maybe there's something in these sorts of things. I don't know. I say there's more fundamental elements than just one selection. I appreciate, but yeah, I'd say I don't really have much knock on anyway.
Yeah, no, hopefully not, mate. All right, Matty and his minions, you got battered by Arsenal, but that will be the reality for so many other teams. It's not a shock. No, it wasn't. Let's move on. So, from the result, I wanted to talk about Ramazani in depth with you guys. I really wanted to know because on the bus that comes out, I were quite deflated before the game. Look at Priestley smiling up there.
Well, I'm surprised it took you 27 minutes to mention his name.
But
Mate,
yeah, so yeah, go on.
Sorry, can I just say before I move on? I know I did it to myself yesterday, but I'm sitting in the Arsenal fans, right? It was North London forever, whatever, whatever, and all that crap. It's the worst song. I don't know what they're all doing. Honestly, they just made it up, taking it for some way. Anyway, and then they brought on a child against us, and they were all getting up and cheering for this child. It was so embarrassing. It felt like we were a League One side. We were crap. We were so poor. I was embarrassed, not to be a Leeds fan, never to be embarrassed to be a Leeds fan, but I was embarrassed by the team performance and what I saw. And that's the problem for me. I was actually, I don't let down or whatever. I've paid to be in the Arsenal fans. It's my own knobhead fault. But it was really shit. They were like laughing at us. No, not but we were so pathetic.
Honestly, Adam, it felt at times, even like walking back to coach, because we were all mingling as well. It was mad. I sort of thought we'd get ushered in, but we were walking among Arsenal fans. It were like we'd won a competition to play at Emirates. That's what it felt as a fan. As a fan, it felt walking out. It felt, it just felt like look where we are. Leeds' big day out in London. That's how they've all been. I hate that, and we've got to front that up as fans. And that's what annoyed me. There'll be thing is, lads, there'll be sides go there and get slapped up, and that's fair enough. There'll be loads of sides get beat 3-4, 5-0, but there'll also be some shit sides go there and get a 0-0. Maybe not many, but why couldn't we be in one of them sides? We could have played in a way that gives us an opportunity to stay in the game longer and maybe get a goal or maybe nick. I mean, at half time, the people around me in my section, lads, were praying for a 2-0 loss. At half time, we were 2-0 down. The best we can hope for here is it ends 2-0. That wasn't good. I'm used to winning every week, for the last 2 years. And I know it's a big adjustment to switch that mindset because you're not playing your Prestons and your Bristol Cities. I get that. But it's still quite a switch to go from expecting to win most weeks to say, we'll settle. Just don't concede rest of the game. We'll lose 2-0. It's mad that at 45 minutes of professional footballers to think they can't go get a goal and they can't change a result only at 2-0 down. That's how it felt, Adam. It felt hopeless yesterday.
Yeah, it did feel hopeless. I missed the third goal because I went in for half time, just sort of stood there. I thought, well, what's this crap? I want to leave. I just want to this. Like, really looking forward to see Leeds live, and it was just rubbish. But that's what I say about what Burson said earlier. If Farke had come out and reacted like Conte and been really grumpy because we lost, I'd be really worried because that was on him. So he's got to go out and try and find positives in the press conference and I hope I take that as a positive because he should go and reflect on his own position, not as a manager, but his own selection, his own choices. So he's got to be positive in a way because the only thing he really be grumpy with is himself. So I don't mind him coming out and saying finding positives in what the players did maybe because there was no positive in the performance at all. So Farke, everyone said Farke's got to learn from that. Whether he does or doesn't, it's really important, really, really important for him.
Yeah, no, it is, mate. He ain't got long as it to turn it around, really, and show us what his side's capable of. Because we're all happy with signings that have come in. Yeah, we still need a few. We're still going to get a few. We'll speak about one that's potentially coming tonight as well. But he needs to get them playing a way, I think, that maybe varies and changes for each opponent. And we sort of saw that in pre-season and thought that's how we were going to do it. So going to Arsenal, I did not expect that performance I didn't expect that setup for starters, which led to that.
Could touch on as well, sorry, Gruev in the DM is not going to work for a Premier League season. He'll just get run out. He's even the one, I think it was Saka's goal. He got the ball, and the first thing he had to do was try and shift it onto his left foot because he can't use his right foot. And the ball. Yeah, even on the ball, he's a bit cumbersome, and off the ball, he's just not got the running power or the physical power to play as a DM in there and pick up all second ball and clear things up. He's just not that guy.
No, I agree. Priestley, I'm going to come to you first. Let's chat about Ramazani. Talk to me. Where's your head about the Ramazani situation? Because I think you think I overegg it.
Yeah, I mean, is he really that good? Someone said earlier that he's the best winger at the club, which I think is a wild take.
Who said that?
Someone in group chat earlier.
And I thought it would me, to be fair, but I don't think it was this time.
I think it were Christopher said it.
Is he not in the conversation that he's one of the better wingers at the club?
I'd say he's definitely top 5.
That's wild. That the thing is,
Farke wouldn't.
he's currently 6th choice, which is wild for me. He is 6th choice. A G&A every 98 minutes on average last season. The best at Leeds United. Didn't put a foot wrong. May have looked ring rusty in some of the 7 and 8 minute performances he got given by Farke. He were feeding off crumbs. He were coming to Farke like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have some more?
The thing is,
it's a bit much,
he was playing well early on in the season. Then he got injured, and Solomon came in, and Solomon were on form. You can't just drop your form players.
Yeah, but he had a 4-game stint where he could have done, but he stuck with what he knows. There were a stint of form going towards the end of the season where Solomon weren't in form, and Ramazani didn't see grass for four games. So there's something in it. And for me, Harrison not been at the club for 2 years, Boss Nass. Ramazani, I in my opinion, has played well in pre-season. Grafts his arse off. For me, apparently he's lazy in training. We'll never know if that's true or not. I just think it's a bit wild that he's now below Harrison and Aronson. And they'll say it's based on work rate, it's based on getting back. And for me, maybe I'm just a bit of an idiot, which Priestley will probably agree with. I want my wingers to attack. And I understand they've got to give it a bit. But why can't you as a coach that into a player? Why can't you give him the detail, Boss? That's and go, Ramazani, you're in team on merit, you're playing well, you're an attacking threat, go win this game. But I tell you what, if you don't shift back and get to that halfway line and help your left back, then you're not fucking playing next week. Why can't he do that? Why is it just he doesn't defend, he's not playing when he's a better offensive player than at least half of the wingers?
Yeah, I think it's odd when we're talking about a team with a lack of creativity and sometimes a team that runs out of ideas when they do get to the final third of the football pitch, that a lad like Ramazani, which that's his game, can't get any minutes. I find that odd. I'd like to go back to something which I think, unless I'm not making, I think I'm right in saying that I kept hearing through the off-season the narrative of we're bringing in the right characters, the characters, like talking a lot about character. And then I kind of mold that together with telling Jorginho Rutter not to over-celebrate, not to be too show-offy, lack of a better word, don't show off. I don't think he likes the way Ramazani celebrates with his somersaults and such. I think it must be a conflict of characters, and that's just kind of 1 + 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a lack of creativity. We talk about not showing off, and we keep mentioning bringing in the right characters. So, to me, I don't necessarily think it's any beef. I think what might actually be going on is that Farke doesn't like the character of the player, and if you're going to try and change someone's character, that's really not something you should be trying to do in a sport, in the kind of environment. It's better to just move that person on. So if I'm trying to just try to read between the lines and make it all add up, I'd say that's likely what's going on. But yeah, it is very odd that a team that's lacking a bit of creativity can't even squeeze some larger Ramazani into the season. I do find that very odd.
Daniel Farke is of course German, and Germans are historically known for their love of anything unserious.
Yeah. No, I get that, mate. I get that. Adam? I'll touch on Ramazani. I thought that was a great point by Boss Nass, that, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I
creating,
agree.
We need more creativity, and he's sat there not getting minutes.
I've always hated the Farke thing of telling Rutter off for doing skill and winning 2-0, or telling Ramazani off for doing backflips after he scores a goal.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a bit of an oddism there. I think it's a bit odd to do it, especially in public as well. What he comes out and talks about in press conferences, which is a bit weird. You can tell the lads not to do it by all means. You're the manager. You're in full control. He clearly didn't want him in the first place. Got stuck with him, and probably been showing off ever since. And that's what's happened. Doesn't fancy him. I'm glad Ramazani for him's going. I think he'll go to Valencia. I hope any sort of option to buy is a decent value, because he could go there and do very, very well. He's a really talented player.
He will go there and do well.
I hope so. And by the way, he does track back. He tracks back very well, but he just makes wrong decisions sometimes. He's not fantastic in duels. He does try for a team. I don't think there's any great attitude issue in terms of the way he tracks back, or it's actually just occasionally makes wrong decisions. I say for me, Farke just doesn't fancy him, and that's sort of okay. He's the manager. What will be. And now you got Okafor. You got other options anyway. Hopefully get Bakra as well, which is highly unlikely. So Ramazani's right to go. He's behind Harrison and Aronson. Yeah, that's it. We do. By the way, we keep saying. By the way, we need wingers when we got in the right games. Our wingers have got to be able to go past someone. Every single one of them. Otherwise, they're not worth their salt as a winger for us. Harrison, and Harrison should be starting any games this season because we are again. I keep saying this. We are set up. 4-3-3 sets you up to either have fullback overlapping or a winger. Get them. The dream is get them one-on-one with a fullback, and they've got to go past them or try to go past them every single time. And that's Ramazani falls into that category. I think he would have been really useful last 20 minutes in certain games, but obviously not for Farke. And we might see another winger come in and go, well, that makes sense because we just bought an unbelievable winger, but possibly not.
Yeah, I do find it a bit odd because I think he's a big proponent of that kind of saying that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I think that's it. I think he's big on that kind of thing. But for me,
can I just say sorry? That child, I understand who he is. I understand his name. They're all chanting around me. I'm not saying anything against him. He's a class 15-year-old. You just go and sit in the middle of Arsenal fans and listen to it for half hour. See how much you enjoy it.
It did feel at that point like he was taking piss, didn't it?
Yeah, it feels like letting Ramazani go and getting Okafor is a bit like swapping your PS4 for a PS5. Like they pretty much do the same thing, but one's just a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm very much of that mindset. I will say of Okafor, it didn't look brilliant when he came on for me, but then again, he's walking in at 3-0, 4-0, game's done. Yeah, did he even probably want to come on at that point? It was an hard game for him to come into that really. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting minutes midweek in Cup or potentially starting against Newcastle on the road. But hopefully he's going to be the second coming because for me, my favourite players off out on loan now for free. So I'm a little bit peed off. So he better come in and be good. That's all I'm saying.
I wonder if your opinion will change if he goes to Valencia and doesn't do anything.
Maybe.
It could be that Priestley as well. Because look, Paveda's the same kind of flair player that got passed around, and eventually ended up doing nothing. So it could be that as well.
Is he still at Sunderland?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so. As a squad
player. That's one thing I'd like to say as well. Mentioning Sunderland, I would rather lose at Arsenal than lose at Burnley.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if we were losing 3-4-0 at Burnley, then I'd be worried.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. Look at Sunderland. Lost 2-0 to Burnley. That's all newly promoted sides now, all off the board with a win.
Did you see some of the comments after their game yesterday?
They were saying about sacking Labrie, weren't they?
Yeah, they want the manager out, which again is mad.
Who's that? Sunderland are saying get rid of Labrie.
Sunderland fans wanting the manager sacked because they lost to Burnley.
Yeah, certain sections.
Some people shouldn't be allowed opinions. Genuinely shouldn't. There was one I put in last night. A guy saying we've wasted 3 months of the transfer window on Farke. We need to sack him now and get Frank Lampard in. I just went, fuck this. I'm off to bed.
No.
I'm not even getting involved.
Get Lampard in.
I wish I could see that players' WhatsApp group though. I wish I could see Leeds United players' WhatsApp group.
Oh, it'd be class with it. Yeah.
Because I honestly think some of them will have been fuming how they were set up to play against that team yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. I was thinking earlier, if I was a player in the change room, if I was captain, I'd had a real word with Farke, say, what the fuck was that? What the fuck did you expect from us? Like, you set us up to lose the game. It was just by what number, whether it was between 3 and 6, just so happened to be 5. And that's it.
Yeah.
I thought Stack looked very ineffective yesterday, and he looked very at full time. It was very telling with some of the players, like there were Okafor and Stack, and some of these new players just stood there clapping. You just think, what are they thinking now? I don't want to get too down about it, but that was absolute embarrassment yesterday, mate. It really was.
They'll be thinking we've just been battered by a team that beat Real Madrid less than 6 months ago.
Yeah, but it's the worry of what's to come because we've seen with Farke, this is what he does, mate. You can put that about anything, though, can't you? You can have something negative and say, yeah, but that happens, mate, that happens. Yeah, but it'll happen again. That's the issue because
that's the thing. If I'm stuck, I'm going, what the hell have we just done there? How are we set
I
our
think
list?
so.
Gruev can't defend against these. Tanaka hasn't got. If Rice is just running rings around Tanaka, he hasn't got the legs to recover with. Go with Tanaka. Stack after about the third goal was just waving his arms around, pointing direct. He was like, "What the fuck are you all doing?" Like, because people said certain players didn't play very well. No one played well because they weren't set up to play in a certain way. They're chasing shadows. What the hell were they supposed to do?
Yeah, no, I agree. How do you feel about obviously going forward with potentially having no Tanaka, no Ampadu for the Newcastle game? I mean, five midfielders into 3. We've got the numbers there to cover, but that means Gruev will start again. Go on, Boss Nass.
Can I just say, yeah, because I tried mentioning this on another video the other day. I don't like, and this isn't a dig at any particular person, just as a fan base, so more reflective on all of us. I don't like how we sometimes look at stuff as in like minimum requirements or you know, we only need this or we only need that, or like get as much quality as you can, and then it's on the players to make that job their own. Don't feel sorry for them. They've signed a contract. They know they're coming into a competitive environment. If you back yourself to come into a team knowing what the squad depth looks like, and you back yourself to get into that team, that then from signing that contract is your job to display your talent, your qualities, and why you shouldn't be left off the pitch. So in terms of we don't need this or we don't need that, for me, get me as much quality in depth as possible because injuries happen, especially soft tissue injuries in this league much more than the Championship, just because of the demands on the body as in like meters run and sprinting, etc., etc. So get me as much as you can. For me, within the realms of being sensible. Yeah, so that's just something I want to say on that because I hear quite a lot. Oh, but we've already got this amount of wingers, or we've got this amount of midfielders. You take 2 players out of those position groups, and you're looking at a situation that really is not. It's not only not ideal; it's actually quite worrying. So yeah, get me some more depth. I love getting depth.
Talking
I've
about
got a question to put to you.
Go.
So you've just mentioned 5 midfielders into 3, with the injury to Ampadu and potential injury to Tanaka.
Yeah.
You're setting up as a 4-3-3. Would you push one of them a bit further forward and put Aronson there?
I'm probably at a point now, mate, if we've got two of our central midfielders that way, you might have to look at changing your formation to a 4-2-3-1, maybe, yeah?
Yeah.
Might have to now.
That's
Losing
what
2
I mean.
of them.
So go with the formation we played last season and put Aronson in.
Probably, which again, like you just said then, Boss Nass, I thought, I didn't think we had much more work to do. All of a sudden, 2 injuries, and I'm looking at that side thinking, fucking me, like, yeah, that's how brutal it is. A little bit like last season, isn't it? Losing 2 centre midfielders at once. Yeah, it's not as long term. Hopefully, it's just someone's put 4 weeks there with an international break in there. It means it might miss a couple of games, but it's not ideal. It's just look, we have 5 midfielders and we're down to 3 within a couple of weeks of playing football. So that's a bit annoying, but maybe a formation change. Maybe. I think losing Tanaka and Ampadu
I think
is huge if you're going to play 4-3-3.
I think Ampadu's going to be back after the international break.
Yeah.
So it's only realistically 1 game.
Hopefully. He recovers really well. He recovers really well, does Ampadu as well. What do you think, Adam?
This is why I've saying for a while, 5 isn't quite enough, actually, and especially if Gruev is one of them. And actually, what's turned out to happen is that we got no depth for Ampadu whatsoever in that DM. Unless Stack's going to do it, but he loses his running power. So, and then you got no cover for Stack. Gruev goes left. So we need another one, even without the injuries, really. Depth. Everyone was, last couple of weeks, everyone was saying we need a 4th striker. A 4th striker, so 4 for 1, but 5 for 3 is enough. Like we had this debate 2 weeks ago on late night. Not a debate necessarily. I was just shouting really or moaning. But 5 into 3. You need 2 for each position. You just have to have it. It's not about rotation. It's about having depth of quality if something does happen and having options and different profiles for different games as well.
So you're saying if we're playing a 4-3-3, we need 6 midfielders to cover the 3 spots? Is that what you're
without any doubt. Yeah.
Wow.
You need 2 left wingers, 2 right wingers, 2 right fullbacks, 2 left fullbacks, 4 centre backs. 4 centre backs you've got. So 3 centre midfielders, double it, that's 6. You need 6. You just need 6. That's just what you need.
What about
Also,
Calvin
boys,
Phillips?
I'd love us to use the loan market to bring in like really, really good quality players that can't, you kind of squad players at an Atletico. I know this might sound mad to people, and trust me, this isn't out of the realms of possibility. Numerous teams have done it. Getting your fringe players out your Atletico Madrids, getting your fringe players out of these continental teams that just quite aren't making the mark, but would make an instant impact at Leeds United. Because the wages around the continent are massive and compared to the Premier League, so it is quite doable from a financial point of view. So I would really love us to really utilise and look into that loan market and try and bring some players in that will kind of make us sit up and go, whoa, it's not our player, but we're going to use that well, and it's going to be fun to see. I'd like to see that happen.
Sorry, Buster. I think the past thing with loans is this, but you're supposed to be you loan a player to keep them or an option. I don't think that's that important. Actually, go a bit higher than that and get someone. You train them for someone else. I don't care. We're at a level. If we can get a very good player in on loan, even if it's going to leave the end of the season, it doesn't matter. It just helps us for now. Gets us through this period. Brighton did it. Lots of clubs do it. Lots of clubs. Colwell came from Chelsea, played a season at Brighton. They knew he was a very good centre back. Knew he was never going to stay, but they got a good season out of him. Loads of clubs do it, and actually, there's been very few loans as of yet. So we might see some next week. I'm sure, because there's got to be so much movement yet. So much. There'll probably be more movement in the last week of the window than there's been the whole window up to now.
Loads of people mentioning Phillips, saying he went away, and I didn't see him but yeah, he may have been one of the 3,000. But tell you what, if he's going to every bloody Leeds game at minute while he's injured, he's really flirting with that, and he's really trying to get that move. But yeah. So speaking about depth and options, it looks like this is sort of signed, sealed, delivered now. 8 million with £2 million, making it to 10 in total for 27-year-olds play for England. Adam's not a massive fan, I don't think, of Justin. I am not a massive fan, but I think he's coming in as backup. But he is somebody who probably thinks and rightly so, he probably can pip Bogle in his mind, not in my mind. I think Bogle's probably one of our most important players, and I think he's going to go on for really big things, is Bogle. But I think Justin will look at that. I think that's why he's probably moved it. He used to be a star at Leicester. He still starts from time to time. He's been captain, hasn't he? But I think he's going to come and sit on bench in Premier League. He's not going to do that with no guarantees of minutes or backing himself at least to get minutes. So I think it's great competition. This is one of these moves where I think it's great competition for Bogle, and to get someone to come and sit in behind Bogle and be happy with that's probably not going to be a decent player if he has the opportunity to play like a Schmidt. So you get someone like Justin who's got that pedigree and been there and done it and won trophies, and I think he will push himself to get in front of Bogle. So for that reason, I think it's not a bad fee. I've seen some people saying 10 million quid for someone who's a backup. You're a Premier League side, these are players you need. 10 million for a bench player is not even a lot, really. Where we want to be in 2 or 3 years' time, you want that bench player to be 25 million quid. You look at your Villas and your Brightons and stuff. That's where we want to be. That's where I project us to be in 3 or 4 years' time, hopefully. But for now, I think Justin's a brilliant buy for right back cover and left back cover if needed.
I'll be honest, I was surprised to see the move happen, seeing as how we were definitely told it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
My Mr. Adam Baumgartner. Yeah.
Let's throw you under the bus, Adam.
You did, mate, didn't you? Say it's not going to happen, and now it looks like it's going to happen.
That was my exclusive. That went well.
You're not happy with it, though, are you, mate?
I'll do 10 press-ups.
Inside joke.
Because I can.
Class that.
Unlike others. I do, might be actually. Anyway, I don't know. He's an okay backup. He doesn't. I don't really care, to be honest. He's a backup. I think he's more likely to get in the team at a good month than that over time, probably. But yeah, he's a backup. Yeah, 10 million is a decent amount of money, but again, I don't really care. That's money we got. That's money we got. If it was 8 million, 12 million, I don't really care. It doesn't really float my boat. It feels a bit Ipswichy in terms of what sort of signing it is.
Really?
And if we go down, he'd be very good in Championship. So yeah.
So you don't see him as a Premier League player, even though he's played most of his career in the Premier League.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. 17th place Premier League player, maybe. To be honest, I just don't really. Yeah, he's okay backup. I don't really feel any which way about it, particularly now.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, at the beginning of the window, if this was at the beginning of the window, I'd tell you it's lazy and uninspiring. Where we are now, currently, with the kind of candle nearly burnt out, I think it's fine. I think there's in terms of resources that we've probably got more money than we have time. So pay that little bit extra to get the player in and move on to areas of the pitch which are going to probably play out to be more important.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm really happy with signing. Like I say, I think it's decent backup. Just seen now in the chat, it's popping off its chat with all these little bits about Phillips and Justin, and now someone's mentioned Uche. I don't know if you've seen it, lads. Uche, another player with link with, looks like Wolves are closing in the name of Fabrizio Romano's reported that they try to sort of deal out for Uche go, so that'd be another one that slipped through the net. If in fact we were massively interested, which we are.
We've had our name mentioned for about 80 players this summer.
Yeah.
And we've been close to none of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Priestley, out of the players we're sort of linked with at the minute, is there any that you'd bite their hand off for that you want through the door?
Backward.
I mean, yeah, that came out yesterday, didn't it? And that got us all excited. But again, on the way to game, I think backward, another winger. What do we need another winger for? We've just brought in Okafor, just getting rid of Ramazani because we've got too many. And then you watch then, and then you half time. I mean, I'm a massive James fan, but obviously talking to the masses and James is shite, James is this, and a lot of fans can be like in ground, very emotional in the moment. I'm a massive James fan. I would like to think James is going to do it in the Prem. But a lot of people said to me yesterday, that's why we link with people like Backward, upgrading on players, everywhere across the side. And I'm sort of looking at Sunderland thinking, you can't do that for every player. You need to give some people, and then all of a sudden now, I don't know, is this Leeds being ruthless? Or Leeds looking at, right, James can be a bench option and we'll try and get Backward? It may not happen, but is this what the club are looking at? Are the 49ers, are Farke maybe looking at replacing as many of that championship side as possible? So we'll line up maybe in 4 or 5 weeks' time where we might only have one or two that played in championship, lads. And
You've got to.
Yeah.
You've got to upgrade as many as you can. That's what the transfer window is there for.
Yeah.
As many as you can, as quickly as you can, and make them gel as quickly as they can. And that's it. Like if Backward comes in, Backward's an upgrade. But the nice thing is, like James, I think will still be decent in the Premier League. He's still an option. But there's no competition for James at the moment. It's Aronson, Harrison, maybe Nonto goes over there. But now Okafor and Nonto for left. You need. I mean, I think Nonto might start ahead of James, to be honest, if Okafor starts starting. But we do need another winger. We need a winger before this talk of 10. I don't really understand that, particularly with the option of last 20 minutes in certain games or whatever it may be. We're not playing with a 10. So, like, I know people say we can shift, but why would we want to shift? Let's just do this really well. So, let's buy players for the 4-3-3, buy a backup for Stack, but play Longstaff for his legs, like whatever it may be. But but you got to get as many good players as you can, and Backward falls into that. He takes corners as well, which is kind of remiss of us not to buy a proper corner taker and have Anton Stack out there at 6 or 4 taking them.
Yeah, because currently at the moment you've only got Stack. I assume Okafor can maybe take him, but again, you need more than maybe one or two in your side that can take a set piece, don't you? For every eventuality. And yeah, maybe that's another reason we'll be looking at Backward if that's his thing. Don't blame the players for that performance. You can't sit back for 90 minutes and expect to get anything but a thrashing, says easy.
No, that's not quite. I mean, I don't think that's what Farke was even trying to do. That's a problem. If he was trying to do that, I think I'd actually make more sense.
I don't think we're playing like that. I feel like we're trying to be aggressive in the wrong areas at the wrong time. We're actually physically trying.
We jumped out of the wrong, trying to engage at the wrong points. We kept leaving gaps.
I did.
We did a lot. If you looked, there's quite a few moments where we're chasing players back. By the way, Ranieri, what a player he is. When he came on, they looked better because he was all over the place. And he when Odegaard went off and he came on, I think they actually looked a better team.
Yeah, I noticed that. Obviously, I was playing free midfield as well against Everton. They were playing a 4-2-3 when we sort of overrun them. I noticed with Arsenal yesterday, I can't remember their left back's name, Calafiore. Yeah, he kept on coming into the middle of the park, and we were just outnumbered in middle. He kept on coming inside, and we just couldn't live with him. We just felt like, honestly, we're like chasing shadows at times. And it was like they had an extra 2 or 3 players on pitch at times. And yeah, the fact they brought a 15-year-old kid at end and they were able to take players off, and it felt very.
It was taking the piss, by the way.
Yeah, it made it look class, to be fair, when it came on for me. I know Adam don't want to talk about him, but yeah, Goodmanson I thought played really well until 15-year-old came on over 2 games, and I thought, sort of showed him up a little bit, but Yeah, I don't know, lads. It's hard because I'm a massive positive fan, you know me. But
It
that
was
one
though.
game,
Since when?
game. Well, but give over, mate. Give over. It's really difficult to spend best part of 16 hours out of house yesterday, be knackered all day today, and still see some positives in yesterday's performance. Positives going forward to end on a sort of good note is, like I say, you may not see no validity to it, Adam, but a cup game, we could batter Wednesday 4 or 5-0, and you might not think he's not in there, but imagine Piros is going to start against Newcastle because that's what Farke does. Imagine if Piros starts against Wednesday and gets an hat-trick. For me, there's a bit of momentum there going to Newcastle. So I'm hoping a decent win for midweek, take it into Newcastle, and that is a game where I heard 3-8 for Arsenal. 3-8, and I didn't like it, but I get it. Newcastle at home, that ain't a 3-8. That ain't for me, that ain't a 3-8. I understand who they are, where they are, but that ain't a 3-8, lads. That is a game that we can get points in. But I want us to be aggressive. I don't want us to sit back in that. I want us to be aggressive, so there's a chance that the same thing could happen again.
It's like Henry Winter said last night. Our season won't be defined by defeats at
100%.
Arsenal. It'll be defined by the points we pick up against teams around us. Like you said, I know it's only 2 weeks in, but there is 4 or 5 teams that are banging trouble.
Yeah.
Wolves and West Ham being 2 of them.
Yeah. To be fair,
but Burnley are going to be down there as well. Maybe even
Burnley looked all right against
Fulham.
Brentford were a bit of a shock yesterday, weren't they, winning 2-0? That sort of shocked us. But prior to that, everyone was thought of struggle, was sort of struggling, weren't they? And then obviously Burnley beating Sunderland yesterday were nice as well. That sort of showed that sort of put them in the place a little bit. If there's any of you watching, we were talking before game on coach, and I sort of thought Sunderland might win the opening 3 games. Burnley away, then they had Brentford at home. I thought that's a right good start for them if they can pick up more points. But yeah, a bit of a reality check for them too. But it's one of them, and we are going to get slapped up from time to time, lads. And it's trying not to get too high in the good moments and get too low in the bad moments. And I may be guilty of being a bit too high after Everton. I felt a little bit low yesterday. What I'll say got me through yesterday. We've obviously been out with lads, and it would a great the coach journey there and back. A lot of lads on coach say when you go with them, it's like, the win's a bonus. It's just being with your friends and your family going to the game. And I'm like, I know, but I ain't used to this bag. I'm just used to going to football and winning, So it's a bit new to me, but I enjoyed the day. It was class. But I do seem like a competition winner there, don't you, Adam? I enjoyed my day. It was a really good day.
Well, you're in the Leeds fan at least. It's like saying, you're going to lose. But it's about putting up a fight now. If you own a shop, some stuff's going to get nicked, but you still have a security guard. You might try and stop it. Occasionally, you'll have some sort of cameras up. You might try and stop it, not just help them out, carry the stuff out with them, which you felt like yesterday. Felt like we were assisting them to their car. The Wednesday game, by the way, Bijol Bornau. I think there's merit in terms of hopefully Okafor gets start, hopefully DCL gets half hour, hopefully the Metro gets at least an hour. There's merit in getting all those players playing football. Be interesting how good Bornau is, because Bornau sort of everyone says just come in as a sub. Is he good enough to be pushing anywhere? Bijol, how good is he? I think Bijol's football IQ is really high. Big lump, obviously, but he's a really good defender. I think once he won't. Pardon?
Is a unit, is Bijol.
Yes, he's a unit. I think once he's in, he won't leave the side for me. If Justin's signed, he'll play. Darlow will probably play. I think it'll be as many subs as he can, and there have to be 2 in midfield because we haven't got 3 centre midfielders left. We can rotate for.
Justin won't be allowed to play, will he?
Probably not. Not if he's played in a couple already. No.
Yeah, I think he played it first round. I think he's cup tied.
Okay.
I'd take him, mate. Buonanotte, I'd take him. Let me just get this comment up here. So Joe Blackman do a video on this other day about a 25-man squad. The 25-man squad currently obviously doesn't even include your Sam Greenwoods, your Geldarts, your Bamfords and all them, does it? When you look at that, I think we've got 25 as it is. So Ramazani goes out. If we're on about bringing in 2 or 3 more, maybe a few more have to drop out of there. I think he was saying Cairns as third choice, probably haven't been registered, so maybe that's a space there. But if we are at 25 now without some of these players, which I'm sure I've seen a graph, I've seen him put it up to Joe Blackburn. I'm sure we'd have to bring a few more out to bring a few more in. So who would you say is sort of in that realm of maybe coming out? Will he be in? Will he be registered?
Well,
At
I'm
25
not
as well?
21. You'd have to register them, so they
Yeah, you don't have to register Harry Gray. He's under
Didn't think he
21.
would. No.
All right, fair
No,
enough.
but yeah, I to be honest, I've not looked at the list in enough detail to understand who's
Yeah.
where we're at and what point we're at with it, really.
But yeah, I
I
think
think we've got enough homegrown players anyway.
I think the only two in the current sort of squad who were going to get minutes or could get minutes would be Ramazani. Under that, Harrison, you would imagine the next one. If we were to bring in a backward next, and we've got to get rid of another one, it may be Harrison, but I do think he'll stick around. I've said that for a few weeks now. I was actually really surprised he didn't start yesterday, even though I would have been gutted if he had. I could have understood in Farke's mind why he may have seen that. I just hope he doesn't see that going forward. Newcastle and stuff like that. I hope he don't get. I think he'll play against Wednesday. I don't want to see him play in Premier League as a starter because it's a bit too negative for me. Although if you're gonna do Arsenal away, maybe want to do, and maybe that'd have helped. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit flat. I'm a little bit down. Not down to the defeat, but down to the manner. But yeah, I think
I've just done a quick count in my head. I've got us at 23.
Have you?
Yeah, that's obviously not including Ramazani, Melier, Greenwood, Bamford.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, when he did it the other day, Ramazani was still in squad. So that'd have been 24. Yeah, I think it is Philip. Yeah, 25. So we're pretty much at it. Ramazani goes out. We've probably got a couple of spaces, so maybe that'll be it to Philip. Won't it? Maybe bring in a couple more.
We get Justin Backwell.
I'd love Bakwa. I can. That's a really high aim for a signing low. So I can see it not happening. I think there'll be too much competition, and then we'll see what they do in the last couple of days. If what the backup to him is.
Yeah, and Schmidt going as well. You're right there, mate. And no, Paul, not mourning about 3 points after 2. If you've watched it all, I've said 3 points after 2 is fucking mega. But mourning about going all the way to London to lose 5-0, I think I'm in my rights to mourn about yesterday.
We get 57 points, which is
that's just a ridiculous statement, Priestley. That's ridiculous, mate.
Literally,
that's ridiculous.
You could film that. You could literally. We won't need to film it. Every other Premier League manager should be watching that tape and going, "This is the blueprint of how not to play at Arsenal."
Yeah, too right.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was worse than that. Always, Arteta would look at it and go, "I'd like every team to do exactly this." And you wouldn't know. That's the problem. Once if Arteta saw that side and thought, "Oh, they're going to play like that," he would have been rubbing his hands together and chuckling to himself.
Yeah,
it was a big embrace of Farke before the game. I thought the better was because, you go, "Cheers, mate. Thanks for that." Yeah, see the other end.
Right then, lads. I think we'll leave it there. I want to just hand the floor to Boss Nass before we go, mate, because my mate Boss Nass at bottom left has just in the last week or so created a channel, haven't you? Leeds channel, Leeds fan channel. Tell them a bit about it. Tell them what it's called because you spoke some sense. You had some love in there tonight, mate. So tell them a bit about your channel.
Yeah. So. It's a bit of a weird time to be doing it because I was talking to Matty and Adam today because it's going to be changing quite significantly with the ideas that I've got. Last night, I actually changed the handle of it. So can someone type it in the chat? I don't know how to do it. It's youtube.com/@seriouslyleeds. Because it was Boss Nass.
Seriously, Leeds, is that what it's called? One sec.
It was Boss Nass does it. So it is going to be changing a bit. But yeah, I put some effort into it. So if you are, free directly after this ends, come over and drop me a like and a sub. I'll love you forever.
You're a good guy, mate. You're a top guy. Speak some sense. I'm trying to find it, mate. I can't even find you. I've typed in Seriously Leeds.
Seriously Leeds, but still Boss Nass as his picture.
Can't even find you.
Hang on, I'll join the chat. I think it's.
I want to get it on, mate, while there's still people watching.
Surely, if you go on your subscriptions, it'll be there.
I've got it there. I've got it. 1 sec.
Unless you haven't subscribed yet, you scumbags.
I've got.
Yeah, man. I think I'm on 73.
I've got it.
73 subs.
I've got it. Yeah. He's on 73 subs. Go check Boss now. It speaks real sense. I'm just putting link in chat now.
Let's get him to 1,000 by the Newcastle.
Although that don't look like the link, to be fair.
Boss Nass, that video you did on Friday night were quality.
Which one?
The one you did with me.
Oh yeah, that was good. And then I did one with Callum from Passion for Leeds the next day. I'm doing one with AG tomorrow, hopefully, if we can line it up. So yeah, get in amongst it.
Yeah, make sure
What are we
you
going to talk about?
here,
now, mate?
here's
Make it
Honestly,
easy.
you will not be disappointed.
there you go.
Yeah,
There's the
no,
link.
good.
Yeah,
There's the link.
and Priestley's going to be coming on regular and whatever, and we're just going to get loads of people on, and it's going to be.
I've heard we're going to be the new late night Leeds.
No, it's not going to be that.
How many late night Leeds are there now?
Loads, mate. Loads.
Yeah, they're all over the spot.
Jumping on that bandwagon.
Everywhere. What's the real one? No one knows.
We might even start our own Leeds United ladies. Who knows?
Yeah, well, who knows, mate? Who knows? Yeah, it's in there now. Great show.
Have you got it
Lee,
up?
thank
Nice
you.
one.
See you, sexy boys, later. Cheers, Philip. At this rate, I will create a channel. Kershaw, I met him last night. Absolute man mountain of a guy.
Yeah, he did look big on that video.
He's
He's a mountain. It is a mountain.
He was
What's
he
that?
6'5"?
Oh, yeah, easy. He was massive, but really nice to meet you, Kershaw, a class. Look at that. Love all you guys. Cheers, Lee. I'll check out tomorrow. Thank you very much. But yeah, subbed as Andrew.
Oh, come on,
Cheers.
Andrew. Nice one, mate.
Great show, lads. Enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm hoping we weren't I'm hoping I weren't too negative, but
You were fairly negative. Me and Priestley held it together with some positive stuff.
yeah, well, hopefully, yeah.
Just pure
Hey, I'm
positive
tired.
vibes.
I'm drained. I'm tired. I'm not a drinker. And I had to bloody pretend I was a man all day yesterday and drink all day. Loads. And I'm like, yeah. Drinking me right beaners like I do, you know me. So I'm a little bit fatigued today, lads. So maybe if I didn't bring the energy, I do apologise. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe and all that jargon. Thank you, Priestley, Adam, and Boss Nass. And obviously go check out Boss Nass is link too, which is there again. Thank you very much. Right, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Have a great bank holiday Monday. Love you all. We love Leeds and we go again. Bye bye, peeps.